connecting.
Now, but we will get into some tributes, and towards the end of the program, there will be an open mic for anybody that wants to get up and say some kind words about my dad. So I'd like to just ask my wife to come up, and if she could do the reading for us. Thanks. Sorry, for everybody that doesn't know, this is Jules, my amazing wife.
You can shed tears that he is gone, or you can smile because he has lived. You can close your eyes and pray that he will come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that he has left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see him, or you can be full of the love that you share. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember him and only that he is gone, or you can cherish his memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back. Do what he would want.
So where do we start? This has been one of the hardest weeks of our lives. And we never thought we'd be standing up here today, celebrating our dad's life. Any man can be a father and an acquaintance, but it takes someone special to be a husband, a dad, a grandfather, and a friend. And that was our dad, Rob Collins. Dad was born in Poole in 1952, and he went to school in the UK. He has 2 brothers and 2 sisters that are in the UK and could not sadly be with us today in person, but they're joining by the remote link. Dad met Mom 52 years ago at Boscombe Ballroom in the UK. They were married 4 years later in Broadstone, UK, when Mum was 19 and Dad was 21. Mum and Dad immigrated to Zimbabwe on the last voyage of the Rena Del Mar cruise to Cape Town, and then caught a train to Zimbabwe. Here we set up home for the next 11 years, with Matt and myself. We were born in that time. We had a few dogs, a few cats, and loads of birds. Life in Zim was great, a crazy adventure for 2 love bugs. In 1985, we all decided that it was time to move and headed down south to Johannesburg. This is where we called home for the next 32 years. During this time, Dad worked at AMD Services and then later broke away to start his own company with Carson, Des, Steve, and Dave. Dad spent many years building the business with the support of my mum and his business partners. We were amazed and proud of how this evolved from an idea to start in our garage at home to a business that employed over 100 people and just grew from strength to strength. Mom was there by his side every step of the way, and this strengthened and built their relationship. Dad's focus on customer service was the cornerstone of being a differentiator in his market. It was about building long-term relationships with a focus on win-win outcomes, and this set him apart from the rest.
We're going to attempt to tag team this speech just to give each other a bit of a break. So, Martin, thank you all for coming. And looking around the room today and seeing so many friends and family and new and old faces, as well as friends and family connecting in remotely, just goes to show that Dad was an amazing man who touched the lives of so many people. Dad was taken from us too early. And he'll be missed. He was an incredible husband and dad who was kind, generous, and always available when seeking advice and leaning on when we needed it. He's been an amazing grandfather to our kids, and a wonderful father-in-law to our amazing wives. He was a loyal husband. He was a loyal and gentle husband to Mum. Dad did the best for his boys, provided us with all that we needed when growing up. And we were very fortunate to attend great schools and university to leapfrog us into our future lives. We made every effort to ensure that we wanted for nothing and really sacrificed a great deal to make sure that we have the lives that we do today. Dad, you were an amazing father, role model, and mentor. Nothing was ever too much trouble, whether it was fetching us from a nightclub at 2 a.m, or standing on the side of the pool all weekend watching us compete. Endless camps and trips which you came along to, adding to that the support and comfort of knowing that your dad was right there the whole time. He said that no matter the time of night or the early morning, he would always be available to fetch us, to make sure we were safe. He was always there when we called.
Dad, we are very proud of your achievements and the legacy that you leave behind. Over the years, we've met with all your work colleagues and friends, and the last couple of days, we've had the fortune to get to know the Ehrenfeld family, albeit under very sad circumstances. But we have a far better understanding of the impact that Dad has had on so many people, the strong connections and beautiful friendships that he has made in the last few years at Ehrenfeld is a testament to the man he was. He was always genuine and wanted the best for everyone. He threw himself into every project, job and business. He always went out of his way to be involved in every committee. And when voting for a chairman came around, he could not sit on his hands and always volunteered to take up the role. This goes back to scout groups, the Anthroposophical Society, various trusts, and even in his hard-earned retirement, choosing to run the HOA here at Ehrenfeld. Dad had a passion for driving meetings in a collaborative manner, trying to always find the best outcomes in a selfless and fair process.
He was pops to our children and adored his grandchildren. There are so many things that we want to say to you and so many questions we need to ask. The hardest part about all of this is the beautiful relationship we have with our kids, my two girls, and Danny and Luke, and how they adored you. There are no words to describe a relationship like that. We are so happy that you all got to have that time. I'm sure they will cherish it forever. Jumping into bed in the mornings for cuddles and long chats, with many hours spent listening to their stories and laughing with them. Luke, Danny, Annabelle, Emma, all adored him to bits. And I'm sure Danny will share some words later to say for Pops. Dad, you'll always be remembered for the kind, gentle soul that you were. You touched so many lives and have so many great friends. You always gave everything to the task at hand and always went above and beyond to ensure that everyone was heard. You have taught Paul and I that truly listening is the best way to have a conversation, as well as always being true to your word. Dad also had a remarkable sense of humour and would love to tease everyone in a playful, harmless way, especially his brothers and sisters and Paul and myself. He loved to wind people up, but he wasn't very good at being wound up by others. Very similar to his sons.
During our time in Joburg, Dad enjoyed hiking and did many trails around South Africa with his hiking club. He later realized that there were better ways to carry a big bag and go for long walks. This was when he discovered his passion for golf. Dad enjoyed his golf, and I'm sure that this was his happy place, especially when he came out on top, when playing against his ex, his friends, and us. Mum and Dad shared the appreciation for golf and loved their golf tours all over the world. He was very competitive, but humble in his wins, and would take his losses on the chin. He always played with true sportsmanship. He loved to be out on the course with Mum and built many long-lasting relationships on the golf course. Over the past couple of days, we have been flooded with messages from family and friends and listened to amazing stories of Dad, from his infectious deep laugh to him being in the top 5 of the most amazing people that some of his friends had ever met. These messages just bring home a sense of pride and an overwhelming positive impact that Dad had on so many people around him.
Dad was a life partner to our mum and adored her to bits. The two of them were inseparable and would have celebrated their 49th wedding anniversary yesterday. When we think about our mum and dad, they're always there for each other during good times and during the hard times, and stood by each other's side no matter what. Dad was a passionate Formula One fan and made Mum endure many hours of the races with him. And I think that's where Mum learned how to catnap on the couch. It was actually Dad that was catnapping because he would fall asleep with the remote in his hand and not let anyone change the channel. Dad always took the time to keep up to date with the world and was one of the most knowledgeable people that we knew. Happy to have an in-depth conversation on any topic and willing to listen when unsure. We will miss our chats so much. Dad, you adored Mum, and she adored you. A formidable team in the journey of life, with the two of you. Formidable team in the journey of life, with the two of the proudest sons imaginable. You had many adventures with Mum, and it really made Paul and I happy to see you both travelling the world together and really enjoying life. So many golfing trips and cruises, visits to London and Dubai, Christmases in Durban and Franschhoek. And they shared a passion for life, for food, eating sushi in the evenings and discovering wine farms every other week, travelling to the bush in the Pietersburg, to seeing the wildflowers in the Cape. They loved to spend time playing golf and walking on the beach. Dad with shoes on and Mum barefoot. He hated the sand. They complemented each other perfectly. Dad would have certain aspects of life covered and Mum would have the other areas all under control. They formed such a true love for each other. Dad, rest easy, but Mum was in both of your happy place. And surrounded by a beautiful community of friends. She will miss you, but will always remember the happy times and the wonderful life that you shared.
A lot of people say that I look like my dad. So I know that I have some hair loss to go and a few more wrinkles to come. But I look forward to it. With that said, I know that Dad has left behind big shoes to fill. And I would be proud to follow in his footsteps, as his path was sincere and built on the values that he instilled in us as kids. To the greatest dad, husband, pops in the world. Throughout our entire lives, we can't seem to remember a time when you weren't there to support us, guide us, and love us. Saying you will be missed does not really cover what we are feeling. So always know that you will be in our hearts and never too far away. Thank you for everything you have done for our entire family. We will always love you. Rest in peace and know that you'll never be forgotten. So I think if we can just take a moment of silence, we could bow our heads. Thanks. I think, Carson, do you want to start? So we're just going to have an open mic for anybody who wants to come and say something about that. So I'm just going to hand over to Carson. He's Dad's long-time business partner, just to say some words from the team in Joburg.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, Rob got involved in the materials handling industry when he joined my dad's company, AMD Services, in 1985, and he later became the managing director of the company, which was then sold and now trades as AMD Rotorlock. In 2000, Robin, with Carol at his side, was instrumental in the establishment of Bulkmatic Solid Machinery, or BSM as it was then known, as well as resurrecting Techmatic Engineering in its current form in partnership with our other founding partners that are all here this afternoon. Initially, the companies were based in Stratham Park, and then we moved to larger premises in 2007. The group of companies now employs over 120 people. Rob gained a massive experience over the years, and many customers fondly remember him for his assistance with their bulk handling problems over the years. He was well respected as the go-to person in the bulk materials handling industry. Many loyal suppliers also recall his fair but steadfast interaction with him. Rob was always available for advice, and what I miss most are the many informal discussions with him about some problem or decision that we had to make. You'd walk into his office and get that "don't waste my time" look over the rim of his glasses, and you knew you had to have your ducks in a row, otherwise you'd have a problem. Rob had the uncanny ability to listen, and after he had put your point across, he would say, "I hear you, but," and then go on to tackle the problem from a completely different angle. You'd actually leave his office later realizing that he'd guided you to the solution without actually giving it to you. Rob was known for his unconventional solutions and suggestions in the business environment, and he was an exceptional mediator when it came to resolve conflicts, be it at staff level, with suppliers, and also with the really big issues with clients. When I was in my teens, we lived across the road from Rob, and I recall I was doing vacation work at AMD, and Rob offered to take me through to work one morning. That was an old model white Golf, and Matthew and Paul piled in as well and were dropped off at one of the best schools in the country, St. Stithians. After dropping Matt and Paul, Rob said to me, "Carol and my priority is to make sure our children get the best education possible, to allow them to shape their future successfully. And even though we may not be able to compete financially with many of the other parents at that particular school, we'll make it work." That was a very pertinent point that stuck with me ever since. And now that we have our own family, we are implementing that same philosophy. And it's not just with his kids. Rob was equally passionate ensuring that our staff also had the opportunity for further education by supporting them where possible. A tradition that we are continuing to this day. Rob will be sorely missed, and even though he retired in 2018, he was still involved in advising on strategic items in the business. And we were actually planning on having another informal chat with him relating to the businesses when he passed so unexpectedly. Rob, you've been a beacon in many of our lives. May you rest in peace. You touched so many lives and took so many of us under your wing, and we are forever grateful. I'd also like to convey our sincere condolences to the Collins family from all our staff in Johannesburg, Polokwane, and here in Cape Town. Thank you all.
Good afternoon, dear Carol, Paul, Matthew, Jules, Kate, Danny, Luke, and friends. As recent as 3 weeks ago, on the 15th of August, during a joint strategy meeting between the Arundel Homeowners Association and the Arundel Golf Club, Rob was still his usual self, full of beans and chirping away at some of the silly suggestions that some of us made. 1 week later, Rob was in hospital. One week later, Rob was in hospital, and 1 week later, Rob unfortunately passed away. How everything can change in such a short time shows once again that life can be so unpredictable. For those of you who are not Ehrenvelers, I'm the president of the Ehrenvel Golf Club, and I'm standing here on behalf of our main committee and all our members. The fact that so many of you are here today shows the high level of recognition and respect that all of us had for Rob, and that he touched so many different lives. Rob was also a headache. Now, I don't mean that in medical form, pain in my head, but we have a group of golfers here called the Eggs. They like to refer to themselves as the Ehrenvel Gentlemen Golfing Society, but depending on who you talk to, some others will call it the Ehrenvel Geriatric Golf Society. Allow me to share with you one of the interactions that I had with Rob not so long ago. When Rob was still vice chairman of the Homeowners Association towards the end of last year, Homeowners Association, I will run a much tighter ship and I won't tolerate so much waffling. Well, I attended his first meeting as chairman at the beginning of this year, and some 5 hours later, after the start of the meeting, on a Tuesday morning, now that will say something to you golfers. Tuesday is a special day. It was still going strong, but I had to excuse myself because I had another commitment on the Tuesday afternoon. The next day, Rob came to me and said, "Now I understand, it's not so easy in a committee with 7 different members, 7 different opinions, 7 different views. Everybody wants to have a say, and most of them are imposing each other." As chairman, Rob did his level best to bring our 2 associations, the Homeowners Association and the Ehrenvel Golf Club, closer together and strive for a one Ehrenvel. As we heard just now from Paul and Matthew, Carol and Rob were married for nearly 50 years. That is a major challenge in today's environment. But they also played together very often. That's also a challenge for those who are golfers. Many husband and wives or partners never play together because it is a recipe for disaster. But not only in life, as Paul and Matthew told us earlier on, but also in golf, they complemented each other very well. In other words, we got quite accustomed to seeing them at prize givings. Our hearts go out to Carol and family. Rob was kind-hearted, thoughtful, and always ready to help. And this, on top of being a good sport with lots of bantering on the golf course. Rob will be missed by all of us. Thank you.
Dear all, my name is Daniela Collins and I am Carol's oldest grandchild. I would like to say a few words in memory of my granddad. I will start with a short poem. Like a shadow in the moonlight, like the whisper of the seas, like the echoes of a melody just beyond our reach, In the shadow of our sorrow, past the whisper of goodbye, love shines through all eternity, a heartbeat from the eye. Earlier this week, I went to see the school counsellor, and she asked me a really important question that I would like you to ask yourselves. What would he want for you? This reminded me of all the special memories I have of him, and his sloppy kisses will never be forgotten. He would want for us all to be happy. He will be greatly missed by everyone. The speech is going to end just the way it started. Sorry, with a poem. Your memory is my keepsake, with which we'll never part. God has you in his keeping, and I'll have you in my heart. Thank you.
Carol, and your family who I haven't had the opportunity of meeting yet. I've been away in Joburg, came back last night. But I met Carol and Rob on the first tee on Saturday morning. Can't remember who my partner was. But as Carol finished teeing off, I asked Robert, and with respect to accountants, whether he was an accountant. And he looked at me. I wasn't sure if it was shocked or bemused, because he had a knack of putting coloured pens in the back of his golf bag where you're supposed to put your keys. Hence my deducting that he was an accountant. But we shared the same profession, different disciplines. And I can only echo what the reading said, as well as what our president of the golf club has said. The mere fact that such a large congregation here, and whoever's watching on YouTube, reflects the influence that Rob has had on all of us. When I succeeded him as ex-captain, and we don't like to be referred as geriatric president. And he was then member of the Homeowners Association. Many a time he asked me if he could tee off later because of his commitments with the HOA. Consequently, we haven't had an opportunity of playing together until the Monday before his operation. As luck would have it, Heath Downs, Rob and I played that Monday. At drinks afterwards, he said to me, I don't think I'll be able to play next Monday because I'm going in for this op. And will you please excuse me? I hasten to say I was privileged to have the last game of golf, Keith and I, with your dad. I hasten to say that he no longer had pens in his golf bag, but they were all pencils. There's of no significance in that. It's just that I noticed that. And I remembered the day when we met the first time. Carol, knowing Rob the way I did, I'm sure that he would want you to carry on the way that you've always lived, and that you will overcome your ordeal, and we will start playing golf. And as the reading said, only remember the good times. Thank you.
we're going to be here for a little bit longer. There is some tea, coffee, some food, and some drinks. I think just everybody have chats about how you remember my dad, and yeah, keep on watching the slideshow. Thank you for everybody that came today. Thank you to Ehrenvale Golf Course and the team from Ehrenvale that have assisted here. Thank you to Yolandi and all the planning and preparation as well around this. We appreciate you guys. And again, to the friends, family, close friends of ours that have come from far and wide. We really appreciate everybody that's here today. And thank you again. Love you lots, guys.